Rearrange formula to isolate variables. So in this series of rearranging formulas, we have many different kinds, and this one is for products, right? So very simple form. The formula here is D equals to ST. Well, this is a very important formula. It is used to calculate distance from speed and time. And you know, distance is speed into time. So that is the formula. Now from here, we can always find what time is, and we can always find what speed is if the other two things are given, right? So these formulas can be rearranged by dividing by the coefficients which are not required. Let us try to do D equals to ST first. Distance equals to speed into time. And let's try to find out what T is from here. To isolate T, what can be done? We can divide both sides by S, right? If we do so, then we get T, right? So let's isolate T now. So what we can do is, this is an equation. So in an equation, we can also write this as ST equals to D, right? That means S times T equals to D. It's equation. Either that comes on left side or right side, it is one and the same thing, right? Remember, we are writing all the factors on one side. It is not transferring just one thing, right? Now to find T or to isolate T, what we can do? We can divide both sides by S. So if we divide both sides by S, see what happens. Let's say we divide both sides by S. Then this S and this S cancels. Cancels means S divided by S is 1. So what do we get here? We get T equals to distance over speed. So that becomes our formula for time, right? So that is how we'll do it. Now for you try to isolate S. That is for you to do, correct? Now these, you follow the same pattern and you can isolate from here what is acceleration A. Now I will do this one for you. C equals to 2 pi r. C stands for circumference of a circle, right? So this formula is used when you are calculating circumference of a circle, where r is the radius. Now if you want to isolate r, what will you do? So you can write like this, 2 pi r equals to c, right? We want what r is. Normally things which you want to isolate, put them on the left side. And now we don't want 2 pi here, so we'll divide by 2 pi on both sides. So let me do it in the next step. So we write 2 pi r equals to c and we divide by 2 pi on both sides. Now as soon as we do that, you can see 2 divided by 2 is 1, pi divided by pi is 1, and 1 times anything is the same thing. So we get r equals to c over 2 pi. That means if I know the circumference of a circle, I can find radius by using this formula, r equals to c over 2 pi, correct? Now here are two other formulas, f equals to ma. You can find what a is by dividing both sides by m. How about this? You can isolate t from here. This is interest equals to principal into rate into time. Now normally you can find interest if you know how much money has been invested for, let us say, if you invest $1,000, let's say if P equals to $1,000 and the rate of interest R is equals to, let us say, 5%, that means 5 over 100. Then if you invested for 2 years, let us say T equals to 2 years, then you can find what interest will you earn if you have invested this. But let us say if you know what interest you have earned and you want to find T, then how will you do it? You may have to rearrange this formula, that is to write T in terms of I, P and R. That is what it is, right? So to write T in terms of I, P and R, what should you do? Well, first we can write this equation as PRT equals to I, right? Now from here we don't want P and R, so we'll divide by P and R. And we get, as you've seen earlier, T equals to I over principal and rate. So that is what rearranging formulas are all about. Correct? So these are very important formulas. They are used in so many word problems and for doing so many applications. Practice these formulas and understand how to isolate. The key here is when the products are involved, you have to do division or quotient, right, to get the other variable. Right? Think like this. Think like this. We know 12 equals to 4 times 3, right? 12 equals to 4 times 3. So what is 4 equals to? So to get 4, you divide both sides by 3, right? You divide both sides by 3, right? Then you get, well, 4 equals to 12 by 3. So that is how you can look into it. It becomes simpler to understand how to rearrange these formulas and isolate the required variable. I hope you understand it. Try some questions on your own, especially these, right, which I have left for you. Isolate A here, isolate C here, okay? And you can isolate, we have already done isolation. We have isolated T from here. You can isolate R, the rate of interest, if we are given total interest, principal and time, okay? Thank you.